Cool. Hi, guys. I know a lot of folks from VitaDAO here, so I'm going to steal their tagline. How great is it to be alive? Woo! Nice. Sorry, I just had to get this out of the way. Cool. I'm Kevin. I'm the head of product at Molecule. We are in this beautiful office. This is our home, so welcome to our home. I hope you enjoy this. This is our living room, more or less. I'm going to be talking about Molecule. What do we do? What's our mission? What's our vision? What are the beautiful products that we're launching? And yeah, how this all fits together also with the hackathon here. I'm super stoked to have you here. Let's get started so I don't bore you. Cool. Let's start out with our vision, or mission actually. Maybe you heard about Molecule before, maybe you haven't, so just a quick recap. What are we doing? Basically, really small vision and mission is we want to change the way intellectual property is actually created and managed on chain. So what are we doing? We're building a protocol and also an exchange for on-chain scientific IP, especially towards biotech. The main goal for us is basically turning siloed research into liquid markets powered by open data. We really want to bring decentralized into science. That's why we coined the term DeSci. Cool. Let's dive right into things. Yeah, this is how we see it. Oh, slide is a bit messed up. That's on purpose, just trying to see if you pay attention. Yeah, so left side is traditional science, so something that is moving but a bit slower. And on the right-hand side, this is how we see DeSci, right? Formula 1 cars, super fast. Not a car guy, by the way, so don't pin me down. But yeah, this is how we see ourselves. Science is usually quite expensive, a bit slow. We're trying to optimize this. We're trying to be leaner, we're trying to be faster, and we're, of course, trying to be more capital efficient in all of this. Cool. Yeah, I don't know how long you've been into DeSci, but we had a really, really cool moment end of last year, the DeSci moment, and we're doubling down that this is not just a point in time, but is going to be the main narrative. Actually, it was last year, November. We call it first slowly, then all at once. Crypto mindshare was pivoting drastically. We're basically almost flipping DeFi, which was amazing to see. Got a ton of attention, ton of people testing our products, which was amazing. We raised a ton of money for science on chain, helped basically fund 7 different projects just on the Molecule side. I think almost raising 2.5 million. So yeah, super cool to see this, and we of course want to double down on this. Yeah, this is probably a good explanation about DeSci as well. I don't know how crypto friendly you are, but DeFi in essence is self-custody of your health, and DeSci is self-custody of your health. Wealth and health, yeah, hard. English is hard. But yeah, this is how we see it. So we want to enable people to custody their own health, bring people together that are either scientists, communities, patients. That's, I guess, the TLDR on things. So what does Molecule do in all of this, right? What's our way forward to contributing to the space? Molecule's protocol. Cool. Let me explain you what this means. So what we've built actually last year, and this is the thing that we want to do, is we want to bring science on chain, so basically the supply side of things. We launched a product end of last year in November, actually, which is called Proof of Invention. I think the easiest way to describe it is a timestamping service on chain to basically prove ownership and provenance of your idea. So no matter whether that's a picture of a napkin, a deep file system, basically, or just a white paper, you can prove on chain that you have this idea. It's super cheap, super fast, literally takes you a minute. Really encourage you to test this. poi.molecule.xyz, also for the people watching online. And a fraction of a cent. Cool part, globally portable at any given time, so you can just take your ideas with you. I think the best explanation for it in the real world is sending yourself a letter, actually. So we ported that into the crypto world of things. So think about it this way. You have your amazing idea, whether that's a recipe or, I don't know, groundbreaking idea that you think is going to change the world. You write this on a piece of paper, You put this in an envelope, you send this to yourself through the letter, or to the post office, and you basically get a stamp on your idea from the post office that says, on that day, this person had it, and we basically put a stamp on it and says, cool. There's some, let's say, centralized authority that acknowledged on that day that I had this. Whether I expose what's in that letter or not, completely up to me, but I have proof, basically some form of tender, that this happened on that day. We do the same thing, but on blockchain, which is super cool. So immutable timestamp on a public ledger. We at the moment offer Ethereum and Base, but in theory you could also use testnet. There's more coming, Solana, Sui, you name it. But at the moment we started with this. So immutable timestamp, you are in full control, so nothing is leaked about your idea. We don't store anything. So I guess the crypto term is not your keys, not your coins. Not your data, not your POI. So you have to actually keep custody of your data as well, right? It's not something that you leak to us as well. So we don't store any data, but in essence what we're doing is you present the data to the app, we hash the content, and basically create a Merkle tree underneath, and then we just write the top root hash on chain from the wallet that you used. The cool part about this is you can use an EOA, so MetaMask, Phantom, whatever, or you can just use your email and your password, and a wallet is created for you to use it. So we make it super user-friendly, super cheap. Test it out. We tested this in Cambridge with university students. We did this with the DAOs already. We already did one successful pre-sale, I guess you could say, raising almost 200K with Cerebrum DAO. And now all of the new DAOs and the old DAOs are using this to just prove science is happening on chain, which is super cool. And again, right, this also allows you to prove at any given point in time what the actual idea was. So basically, you open up the envelope, show it to the world. Cool. Why did we do this? Super easy. Very, very top of the funnel, right? Any idea can be on chain. What this allows you to do in the next step, and I think that's the cool part, is it allows you to work with Molecule's tech stack, or Molecule's IP protocol, if you would say so. So when you have an idea, when you have something on chain, nothing is visible at this stage. But the next step is actually you can tokenize this into a unique piece of token. So your idea actually becomes a non-fungible token, an NFT. It's a unique piece, it's a one-of-a-kind, and the nice part is it's discoverable. You can add metadata to it. You can add a cool image if you want, such as this one. And basically for us, the way to think about this is it's a representation of a Web3 native way of your IP on chain. So basically think about it as a token with a legal wrapper that protects what is your IP, your most important thing, close to your heart, needs to be protected, but you can share it. Super easy to do. We have all of the legal guardrails in place as well. So we use something that's a public good. It's called DeSci codes, DeSci.codes, which basically a library of legal frameworks that you can use to protect this. And we use this for our tech as well. So we're working with patent lawyers and legal experts together to really make sure this is waterproof and solid. Yeah, what does this bring to you? Immutable proof of your token. So you have a wallet, you have an asset. You can basically transfer this now, you can sell it. And the way we see it, it's like the bridge between the traditional IP world and what we're calling at Molecule, the digital future. So Web3 for design, for patents, for IP. Super nice. And then last but not least, actually last but not least, but there's another one which is even further down the funnel. So you start with a POI, you can tokenize it into an IP-NFT, so you have a one-of-a-kind. And then there's a third step that's even more granular that is called IP tokens, IPTs. So on technical terms, this is an ERC20, so nothing too crazy. But what this actually allows you to do is that you have means to just fractionalize your one-of-a-kind into as many pieces as you want. Can be 1, can be 1,000,000, can be 100 billion. You're in full control. And the way we see it is that IP tokens really allow you to foster open source collaboration without necessarily losing any commercial viability. So think about it this way. I think an easy explanation is, I have my amazing recipe for bread. It's water and flour, nothing special. I use this as a POI to write it on chain. Then I think this is amazing. I want to keep going. I want to let other people know about my amazing recipe, water and flour. I tokenize this asset, and then I can also create IP tokens and invite other people in. So for example, I could invite James in, send him some tokens, hi James, and then basically have James also give an incentive to contribute, right? So maybe James has this amazing idea to now add salt to this recipe and say, wow, that's cool. Then I invite Lucas in, and Lucas says, nice, I want to add, I don't know, yeast. Let's make amazing bread. And then the idea starts forming and evolving over time. And then all of a sudden, we have the best bread recipe out there. And there's a proof record, right? Because now James and Lucas, they also have these tokens. They are kind of representing also some, I would say, governance over the idea. So they're also incentivized to contribute and to create something meaningful. So it's a super nice way to invite people in, give them access to, for example, otherwise confidential information, so token-gated access. We can vote. We're basically creating a micro-DAO around our beautiful bread recipe. And then also really crucial decisions, such as like transfer control. We could, in theory, commercialize our beautiful bread and open up bakeries all over the world. And this also would allow, for example, James, Lucas, and myself now to think about, hey, do we want to vote, for example, royalties into the place or anything else that comes with this? Do we want to sell the thing? So it basically allows you to have an idea, tokenize the idea, form a community around the idea, and then really live the decentralized nature that blockchain enables. So super cool tech. But yeah, all of this is just tokenized science on chain. We talked a lot about tokens and when token, but I think the more critical part, and this is where I see Molecule really at its core, is when science. And this is something that we're kind of exploring right now. So to give you also a bit of a sneak peek what we're cooking in Q2, it's really about trying to, we call this IP accounts, IP hubs, name TBD, just leave it here. We want to make science progress more transparent on chain. We want to make this investable, we want to make this liquid, and we also want to make sure that the promise that DeSci has given is actually being fulfilled. So we are working on something that allows you to have verified regular updates on scientific progress for IP projects that people, and for example myself with the recipe, I can decide who I share this with. Is it just the core team? Is it the token holders? Is it something that's there for the public to see so I can promote this a bit more? So it's kind of like an interface for people to understand what the science is behind all of this. So we see this as progress, reporting progress, creating value. Ultimately, that's what we want. We want to drive impact and thereby really creating something meaningful for the space. So when science? Now. Cool. So in a nutshell, anyone to register and manage IP on chain, super easy, super fast. Please test this one out. I'll have a QR code in the end, I think, as well. So bring an IP on chain, protect what's the most important to you, and that's what we call the IP, the idea, the data, but allow for control collaboration. So you're in charge, you can decide who you share your idea with, just as in the real world. You got to be mindful, of course, and you can also use Web3 primitives for this. NFTs, tokens, yeah, and also just really leverage decentralized communities. Yeah, that was the TLDR and Molecule. We also have some other things. I think I have a bit of time. Eric, please interrupt me if I'm running over. But we also did something cool on Solana. So DeSci broke ground on Solana, also end of last year. Big shout out to Benji here, who's not here, but yeah, he's really been driving this forward. Maybe you heard about this, pump science, but yeah, more or less really interesting way to tap more into crypto degen liquidity. So basically being able to live stream experiments and have people in real time validate whether certain compounds extend life in animals. We started off with worms, then went to flies, then went to mouse. I think Benji's best to talk about this, but just wanted to give him a shout out here as well. I think really cool. Yeah, really was insane. It was insane start, literally. Went from 1K to almost 50K followers now. It's outdated slide. Telegram is going insane. Global communities as well, around the globe. Turkey, Asia, Germany, everywhere. Super cool. Market cap also went crazy. I think in total, yeah, more than 300 million, both of the initial compounds launched, which was RIF and Euro. Trading volume was also insane. So yeah, traditional science watching DeSci raise millions of dollars to fund critical science within minutes. So super cool to have this also part of it. They're also leveraging Molecule's IP stack. I need to hurry. Okay, I'll try to hurry. No hurry? Okay, cool. All good. No, they're also leveraging Molecule's IP stack. So we have IP-NFTs for this. Those are IP tokens. And we want to make sure that all of this kind of feeds into Molecule's protocol. Cool. But wait, there's more. One more thing that I wanted to tease. This is a bit of an alpha right now. This is a product we haven't released just yet, but we're about to. So follow Molecule on Twitter, on Discord, on Telegram, on whatever socials we have. I think I have a slide in the end. We are going to be able to trade the future of science and allow you to have a gateway of innovation into biotech. So this is just a bit of a thumbnail that's coming. I'm super stoked for this actually, and kind of feeds into our protocol vision as well. So stay tuned on the launch. I think this is a really cool product that's going live soon. I can't really tell more right now. So people watching also in the live stream, please follow, sign up to the newsletter. And yeah, I think this was it. Yeah, get in touch. This is the QR code. Follow us on Twitter, Molecule DAO. You can follow me as well. I appreciate every follower out there. join our Discord. My email as well, so don't spam me, please. And thank you. Oh, questions. Jesus. Okay.
That was a very certain hand.
Thank you so much. That was super fascinating, especially for I, who's from a traditional science background, when you talked about protecting your idea, because the one thing you have is junior researchers coming up with an idea that becomes later on the Nobel Prize, but the professor gets it. So how is your platform going to help any future scientists protect their idea to get their Nobel Prize and not the professor?
That's a really good point. I think the way we see it, so just one thing clear from the get-go, registering something on-chain doesn't replace, for example, filing for a non-provisional patent or a patent in general, right? So that's just off the gate, but it helps the case. It's kind of like you have a timestamp on-chain that proves provenance and ownership that you had that idea in the first place. So it basically supports as like evidence in your case, I would say, when filing for a patent. The way we see it and the way we're using it right now, for example, is a good example is, for example, is VidaDAO. So VidaDAO is running a contest or a hackathon as well that's called Vida Labs. So basically, you as a researcher, you can come to VidaDAO and say, I have this amazing idea. Do you guys want to work with me? And then you can use this system to propose your idea to the DAO, and then the DAO also basically you have an on-chain proof, right? There's something there that you were there before they can start running with it after. So it's more like a, the way we see it, it's like a trail in history, really. Like it goes with the asset from the inception of the idea to the tokenization to all of the steps underneath until you win your Nobel Peace Prize. So basically, yeah, just think about it like as a history, point in history where you basically have proof that this happened on that day. It's your wallet, it's your account. You have the original files, so you can also prove that basically you are the ones doing it. And for example, you can also prove that certain files have been part of that idea. I hope that answers your question a bit.
Hi, I have a question. Is Molecule protocol looking for cross-chain opportunity or more public chain?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Looking for cross-chain opportunities, because I check out it's on Solana and Base right now, right?
Yeah, definitely. So in theory, POI in theory works on any chain, right? It's just basically a transaction that we write on chain with the hash. We just enable it to start with on EVM chain, so basically mainnet and Base, but it's not so hard to add, for example, Solana or Suri, any other. The way we think about this, at least for IP-NFTs, was to always have one core chain, like mainnet, as like the core for all of these valuable assets at this stage, and then have the tokens freely traded somewhere else. So this is happening right now, right? It's like the asset lives on mainnet, and then the reference token, which is the IPT, can live on, I don't know, Base, Solana, you name it, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ordinals, whatever you want to do. But there's definitely this multi-chain angle because we see that you need to have some source of truth. At the moment, that's Ethereum. But then we, of course, want to make this multi-chain because, yeah, it should happen on every chain. DeSci is multi-chain, so we are aware of this.
Thank you.
Of course. You can also ask questions after.
I've got a question.
Sorry?
I've got a question.
Oh my God, okay.
So I know like a lot of these examples have been around like researchers and their ideas that they're developing within like either healthcare or science. Would someone at a hackathon use proof of invention?
We highly encourage you to do so. I mean, that's the whole goal, right? So basically, I know this has been the talk of the town this week with everything going around AI agents, but this is exactly what you can do. So if you come up with a cool hypothesis, if you come up with a cool idea for the hackathon, you can use this system right now to just timestamp your idea and basically allow you to also show ownership about what you're doing. And we want to encourage people to just use the system. Give us feedback. We want to make this better, of course. That's a first start, but definitely use it. Literally, that's what it's made for.
Yeah, I have a question. Hi, I have a question. So you gave an example of bread. So let's assume there someone put the idea on coin or something, ITP, the exact same bread idea, and after some days, I have the exact same idea of when I'm trying to put it on coin or something. Will it validate and verify the exact same idea is already available or exists there and tell me, oh, you can't do it, or the same idea of me can get registered and create a future conflict?
Yeah.
How it works there?
Good question. So at the moment, we don't validate whether idea has already been registered before, but what we can do is already just take the first one that was there already. So in theory, you could do it twice, but then only the first one can get tokenized. So there's always like, you can mint the asset, but only towards the wallet that was already there. So it's something that ideally at some point in the future, that's a feature to just validate early on whether this is a novel idea or not. But yeah, definitely subject to improvements for sure. Coolio. No more questions? Silence as acceptance. Thank you very much for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this and enjoy the rest of the conference. And yeah, talk soon. Thank you.